Good morning. How are all of you? We're coming back to talk again about the great spiritual awakening that's going on in these waves of ascension. I've been trying to do more daily updates that are live. Oh, I better go Facebook at the same time. Hang on. Let me do both. Oh, good morning, Facebook. You can see all the cameras around me right now. You know that I'm double streaming and testing. Also in this daily update, I'm testing how double streaming is going on 2 different devices, because I know that my internet is a little unstable, in my office building here. So hello, we'll give everyone a moment to join in. And we're just going to do a live daily update and continuing to talk about the waves of ascension that are kind of really coming through, especially for the light workers and healers within these archetypes and collectives. So low network connection is what it says. So it's not working on Facebook. I knew that that would happen. I knew that I would be in a position to choose one or the other. So let me see if I can fix the Facebook issue. If I can, I'm trying to double stream on my phone because the software doesn't work. Something about the internet in my building is not exceptional. So I'm trying to learn how to stream simultaneously. You guys were with me when I experimented with this last week. So I need to get off my LTE because I was trying not to do a double bandwidth because my internet is already bad enough here in Utah. Hang on, I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi back on my phone and see if I can double stream if the CSL building will allow for it or not. So let's try everything again on Facebook. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Facebookers. So let's try that again, Facebook. Give me just a second. Probably should, how Facebook doesn't really. I need a different one than this. Anybody know how to find a tripod with long legs? Me trying to technical is not so fun. I don't even know how to switch my camera around. Okay, there we go. Let's try it again. Daily update. Okay, Facebook, bear with me. Put the phone back on the tripod. So I'm just doing all these tests to see if I need to put on my earbuds. Do I need to put on my lapel microphone? What do I need to do? Okay. Getting Facebook going again. All right, Facebook, let's try this again. And now YouTube, if you will tell me if I'm slow on your end, that would be super helpful because I am now double streaming using the same Wi-Fi bandwidth. And I need to know if it's not working. YouTube, if you slowed down on your end with connection, let me know because I'm watching your chat right now. We're just doing a test, guys, for Facebook. For those of you who are signing on, we're talking and continuing our talk and trying to determine if double streaming to 2 different networks on one bandwidth is going to work or not. So Facebook, tell me if I'm slow. YouTube, tell me if everything is slow. YouTube's saying that they're fine. So Facebook, I need your feedback now for those of you who are watching me there. Just got some brand new lights as well. Can you tell? They're so super bright. I'm not gonna look at them because I have a little bit of light sensitivity, but at least they're not hot like my last set of lights. YouTube, how are we doing? How are we doing on the bandwidth? Sound is soft? Well, I got this. But if I do that, then, okay, so I know that I need to use this next time. How's sound? Sync is good, but how is the sound? Do I need to put on my lapel light mic? Because I can do that now, Facebook or YouTube. Sound is good. It's good to feel your energy too. So it looks like the syncing is working well with the bandwidth. That's really good to know. Because I got to do this today at 1 p.m. We're interviewing Carol Howell, who's one of the original ACIM master teachers. And she's amazing. Sound is good. That's because I have a great microphone on YouTube. It's a bit soft. Okay, well, let's try this. Hang on. Let's try what happens when try not putting my hand over the camera. Hang on. Hang on, Facebook. I'm going to get you situated too. Okay. I have an uncharged phone, so I can't do that for long. I will have it charged today. How's Facebook? How is sound and sync now? Because yesterday, when we were doing, I think it was the day before yesterday, we were doing some live syncing on Facebook and YouTube, and the sound was not so good. So we put on this lapel mic, and now the sound was better, but then the sync went off. So Facebook, are we having any sync issues? Okay, good. We have our lights, we have our sound, we have our bandwidth back. Now we can talk. We'll wait for a few minutes, and just keep talking and see how it's going. And I'll get to talk to you about who's coming on live with me today. So we've been talking about these waves of ascension coming through the Human Conscious Collective, especially for the light workers and healer archetypes. That's pretty much everybody watching me. And it's been discussed, all over YouTube and everywhere in spiritual communities about what all of you are calling the event. And initially, quite frankly, it kind of annoyed me because when I talked to Yeshua about it, he's like, the event is inside. The event is in your heart. Go in, go in, go in. So I wasn't feeling anything because I'm in, right? And then droves of people were coming to me. Hundreds and hundreds of people are coming to me. Suicide rates are up. Depression and anxiety rates are up. And then I'm like, well, I'm still not really feeling any of that, because I'm in my heart. I meditate. I'm in the heart chakra, right? And oh my goodness, then I lost a client to suicide. Then I had someone that I was helping as a medical medium lose her son. And then I was told by my mom that she's getting sicker. All of these things started happening. My mom's been sick for a while. So she has to have another surgery. And then all of a sudden I was finally feeling what you guys were talking about with all these extreme circumstances, and it was incredibly overwhelming to go through. Yeah. So there was so much going on simultaneously, externally, at least in appearance, because nothing is really external, right? If you understand oneness and non-duality, it's only victim mentality when you point and look outwards. So for me, I was looking at all these things going, why? And I felt you. For the first time in a long time, I really felt you. Yes, someone on YouTube said, I feel you all the time, but I felt you in regards to this, to the event being difficult. And until it affected me personally, I could not really get a good grasp on what it was about, because to me, the event has always been waves of ascension that have been going on for over 4,000 years of my incarnations and reincarnations into bodies in lifetimes on planet Earth. I'm old, just like many of you watching. I'm an old soul. So, oh my goodness. I noticed suicides getting stronger. I noticed depression getting stronger. And I just started kind of looking around, especially when it started affecting me. My anxiety went through the roof with this last particular wave of ascension. I wasn't sure exactly what to think or feel, and I'm like, wow, haven't felt this in a long time. So I began to talk to, my higher guidance, connect to my higher self, connect to all the collectives in the Christ consciousness that talk to me regularly. And they said, this is a particularly precarious, challenging, and expansive time. This is a time of amplification where everything that you are experiencing is like, if you're experiencing a little bit of something, you start to see it because of the law of, the universal law of reflection. And you start to see yourself in everything. And the more you see God in everything and everyone, and the more you understand that unity, everything that isn't is also showing up more and being amplified more because you want to see more of God in you. This is your collective call. This is kind of humanity's cry for healing, is that you keep saying, I want to know God. I want to see God. I want to feel God. So what has to happen when you are in a dualistic environment is that you get to see everything that isn't first in order to know what is. And you are the ones that determine that it isn't. It always is. Let me correct that and make that clear, rather. Because when I say everything that isn't, there isn't anything that isn't. But ego causes us to believe. Ego, which is false to begin with, causes us to believe and creates this barrier of separation in us so that we can know truth and know reality more deeply. For those of you who follow A Course in Miracles, you'll know what I'm talking about. This amplification is happening. Everything that is ego within you is amplified in relationships around you that come and go and seem to, they're a little bit explosive. they kind of like expand. And if there's love, it expands like crazy. And if there's lack of trust, that expands like crazy. If there's fear, that expands like crazy. Whatever it is, it just amplifies and amplifies and amplifies until you see God in that. Remember the book, I Am That by Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Be that. Be God. See the God in it. See yourself, which is God. When I say God, I'm not speaking of religion, for those of you who are new to my work. I mean God within you. I mean source. I mean higher self. I mean all of that. I mean, see your heart in someone else's body. It's so hard, you twin flames out there, to see and feel your own heart walking around encapsulated in someone else's chest. And everything that they do or say could either amplify you into love or amplify you into loss or amplify you into something that needs to be expanded, felt, accepted, forgiven, and healed. And where does that lead you? Grace. For those of you who follow my work, that is why. That is where this is going. Someone just said on YouTube, my volume is lower than it usually is. I want to, since we're dual streaming right now and testing our dual streaming, everyone on YouTube, can you please let me know if I need to turn up my volume? Because I do have a wonderful microphone that I could just turn right up. Right over here, there's a little button over here. So let me know if I need to push it, YouTube. How long will it last? It's up to you as a collective. I don't, as a channel, pretend to know everything about time, because time is only relevant in the dream, the matrix, the Maya, the illusion, whatever it is you want to call it, is not real. And time is not, how do I say this? Feels real when you're going through it, because the dream feels real when you believe it's real. Thank you, YouTube. It appears to be it was only that one person who said that sound was bad on YouTube. So it looks like everyone else is saying it's good. I don't want to turn it up too much because we're going to have Carol Hell here at 1 p.m. and then the reverberation of two people talking would be interesting if I turned up my sound too much. I speak a little loudly, or you want me to speak more loudly? Because I don't really like to adjust the volume of my voice. I like to keep it comfortable, because when I do that thing that you guys know that I do, the soapboxing, when I kind of get a little triggered and catalyzed and going off on a tangent, I raise my voice unintentionally, and then that throws the sound off. So I like to kind of, yeah, could be a tad louder. No, I don't know how to turn this up. Hang on. Hang on. It's good that you say this now. I didn't even know there was a camera on this. Very, very interesting. Oh, I don't think there's any volume on the lapel mic. Yeah, I think that's the only way you're going to get stronger volume on the lapel mic is if I move it up. So Facebook, I just moved it closer to my face, the lapel mic. So I can move it up there. Is that better? Or I can move it over here. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube. It looks like sounds really good on YouTube. It was just over here. The Yeti could be louder? Okay. Okay, let me turn up the Yeti. It's so powerful that I don't want to turn it up too much. I just turned up the Yeti microphone, which goes to YouTube. Sorry, guys. We're also giving spiritual messages while checking sound and syncing and Wi-Fi syncing and new lights and all sorts of new equipment. And I'm not an equipment person. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay, how's the Yeti now? It's fine? I turned it up just a little bit. I didn't want to do it too much because you know how that thing just kind of blow out a room. The Yeti Pro is an amazing microphone. It picks up a little bit too much sometimes with the beings that come through me. So if beings come in today and interrupt, or I don't want to say interrupt, add to our discussion with Carol Howell, the amazing Master ACIM teacher. She'll be here at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Beings came through the last time I talked to Candace Carl Goldman. The Divine Architects came through and kicked her off screen in Patreon the other day. We were over at my exclusive community at Patreon, and we were talking about something, and they just kicked her off because I was ignoring them, which is common for me. If I have a guest, I'll ignore all the guys that are trying to talk to me because I'm focusing on my guest. And they were like, "Oh, no, you're not gonna. We'll kick her off if you don't." So they kicked her off and started talking. And then when she came back on, then we just kind of listened and let their messages came through because otherwise it wasn't going to work. And people physically saw things with their eyes. They were seeing the Divine Architects come in. That video is it's on YouTube now. And you could see tiny little shadows and plays of light happening. It was very interesting. So, okay, going back to what I was saying about amplification. This is what the Divine Architects interrupted Candace and I just last week to tell everyone. They said that everything that you feel that needs integration, everything that is coming up, like cream rising to the top, except sometimes in this case, this is negative beliefs. So this would be more like sour cream that needs to be siphoned out, and strained out of the tea. So if you don't want to be drinking that tea. So basically, there's so much rising up into the surface level of ego because it's so hard to feel and know God when your ego is going like this from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep at night. So the level of healing that's required from all of the negative core beliefs that are rising up and can no longer be ignored, healers, light workers, channels, people spiritual awakening who don't even know what that is. You will soon know. There are people coming to me going, I just left religion. I just did this. I just left a hard marriage. I noticed this theme going on. I just left something that was an incredibly difficult paradigm that's going on. Okay, if necessary and when necessary, but keep in mind that more disconnection, more dissociation, unless you're in an abusive situation, which is pretty much you need to go if you're experiencing emotional or physical abuse. So don't get me wrong on what I'm sending to you here. That's not where I'm going. But don't be so quick to run, twins. Don't be so quick to run away. Don't be so quick to just say, oh, that's not working. Twin flames are especially, divine feminine and divine masculine archetypes are especially experiencing this right now, more so. And that's a lot of you. Just about all of us were born into some level of archetypal experience where we will experience the twin flame at some point in our lifetimes. And there's so many misconceptions about what that means. So we don't have to get into what that means anytime relatively soon. However, please know that you are catalyzing each other and triggering each other very expansively. Oh, hang on, we got a technical. Lights are too strong. Want me to turn them down? Well, yeah, let's walk on over there. Excuse me, YouTube. We're going to walk over there and turn lights down. Okay, Facebook, you're walking with me to turn lights down. All right, here's lights. Turning down. Let's see if it really... I don't think that turned them down. This is what they look like from the back. I'm going to the back of my office. Okay. Yeah, it does turn them down. I don't know how much it should turn down. That's 19%. This is that to 19% as well. Okay, we got these brand new lights, YouTube. So we're trying to make these lights work. Facebook took a little trip with me. Whoop, and now Facebook failed. So Facebook took a little trip with me to get lights working. Oh my gosh, they're asking me to put some kind of filter on my face now. I don't want to put a filter on my face. Why does Facebook have filters? My tripod is top heavy. It's really bad because it's a short tripod and I need to get one with longer legs probably for this problem or because it just falls over. Facebook, sorry about that. So now that I have turned the lights down, I need to see if that is working. Okay, how are the lights looking, Facebook and YouTube? Are they too bright still? They look the same to me. I turned them down a good 10% and they look the same. Did it go down at all? Looks exactly the same to me. Okay. So we're at 19% on those lights. I'm saying that for my team watching me and testing these lights. The first time I used them and the first time I'm using and syncing dually for Facebook and YouTube. I wish I didn't have to use two different devices, but we'll figure that out next time. Okay, so going back to what we were saying. I love you too, Chance. It's my friend Sam's son. He's so cute. He's such a baby. Going back to what we were saying. Don't be so quick to run away from experiencing right now. It doesn't matter if you're perceiving your experience within the twin flame archetype or not. Yeah, I didn't notice a change with the lights either. They look exactly the same, even though I turned them down, according to the percentages on the back. Because of oneness, if you run, it's going to show up in another way. If you run from one karmic experience, it shows up as another. Work it out. Doesn't matter what it is. You work it out as friends, you work out a romance, you work out a work colleague situation, whatever it is that is bringing up so much for you, don't be so quick to run from it. There's a difference between, say, you're experiencing something that you feel emotionally negative towards and you feel that it's toxic. Put some difference, some distance in between the two of you. Take some time out. But write, talk, communicate, connect. Connection is vital right now because regardless of the result, If you're running from everything and everyone around you, this is a bit of a problem that light workers do. I do it. Everyone I know that is a light worker currently seems to be going through this thing. It's like a trend in the spiritual communities where everyone is talking about boundaries. And I'm going to repeat this for purposes of safety and explanation so that you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not encouraging you not to have boundaries if you feel you need them, especially in abusive relationships. There are some particular degrees of toxicity that you cannot handle. However, it's still something that you need to work out within you. No matter how you work it out, that is up to you. If you need, because of abuse, to push someone away, do it. If you need for any reason to do it for your own emotional well-being, you can do it. However, please know that separation doesn't exist. What you're seeing in you is a part of God in that other person. What you're seeing in that other person is a part of God that's playing a role for you. What you're seeing in yourself is a part of God that's playing a role for that other person who also thinks that they are separate and hurt by you. You are the same being. It doesn't matter. With the exception of the boundaries, it doesn't matter. The boundaries that you feel are necessary because you create them to be necessary. And again, I'm not asking you to submit yourself to unsafe situations. But I am saying look deeper at your idea and concept of separation. Can we do that? Can we just look deeper at our idea and concept of what is a boundary and what does that mean and when do they need to be applied? Can you still have unity and connection between yourself and an alleged other being? I don't believe in external. Can you still do that? That part's up to you. I'm not here to advocate what you are supposed to do, should do, would do, could do, should have done, would have done, could have done. None of that is applicable because the past doesn't exist and living in it will not help. So let's re-examine, for the purposes of this unique spiritual awakening, let's re-examine what boundaries mean. Because I'm seeing too much of this and not enough of this. I'm seeing too much pushing away and people going, honor my boundaries, hear who I am, feel who I am, understand my power. And that's because of the power over, power under mentalities that have been created in your collectives since the dawning of time and incarnation into bodies. Since that was created, there's been this perception of someone is hurting me. It's roles. You're playing in the illusion. You're on the stage of Maya, playing your roles together. And then when someone allegedly hurts you, you go, push them away. They're the bad guy. Whoa. No, you're a narcissist. No, you're an abuser. You're toxic. You're this, you're that. Sorry. It's Maharishi. He just told me no soapboxing. He told me that yesterday too. Stepping down, observing how I feel for a moment. It's a very triggering, catalyzing topic for me. And as a person who plays a role of catalyst for you, and a person who likes to play the role of activator, what I like to do today is activate you instead of catalyze you, because goodness knows we've had enough catalyzing, triggering stuff. And what I've been told lately is to provide solace and comfort and understanding. So, do you understand? I know that this is hard to feel comforted within. All of this information is kind of difficult to take in when I'm telling you that the person who is abusing you is you. And I'm telling you to find forgiveness, that my level of unity that my guides are asking me to express to you does not mean let them into your physical life if you are experiencing pain. What it does mean, however, is forgiveness, love, and seeing God. With that love and forgiveness, you are seeing God in that person. That is a unity that you can begin there. Anything else that happens allegedly outside of that will happen or won't happen, and none of that matters anyway. All of the results don't matter. It doesn't matter if you end up together or back together. It doesn't matter if you end up still working for your boss or not. If you're having an experience with a narcissistic or abusive or toxic boss or coworker, it doesn't matter if that person leaves. All of the things that we think is going to matter, if we just had the results, if we just had the answers, if we just had this, or if we just had that, that, my friends, is attachment. And that is what this particular awakening is seeking to release from you. The attachment to understand and the ability to sit within that uncertainty, because God is in that void. God is in that uncertainty. Do you feel me now? Lose your connection to the results, to the outcome. Lose your attachment to what you think relationships are supposed to be, money is supposed to be, goals are supposed to be. And don't worry about the doing, the action, any of that. Just be, just feel, accept. And acceptance doesn't mean surrender to something and saying that you are in power under it, that you are repressed by it. Acceptance means forgiveness and seeing yourself in the eyes and heart, maybe not always in the actions, but definitely in the eyes and heart of the other person who is allegedly the abuser, toxic one, the one who's hurt you, the aggressor. As long as we continue to see other people as external aggressors and people who hurt us, then we are still victims. Do you understand now? Please understand why this awakening is so important. This is why all this is happening. This is why you're seeing me more on YouTube Live. This is why. Okay? I'm looking at some of your comments for a second and just kind of sitting with your energy. When I began to ask to lose attachments and to ask wholeheartedly and mean it without being afraid of it, it was absolutely terrifying. Why? Because I had to sit with myself. I saw myself in someone on my community just yesterday. He had made a post and he said, does QHHT, his question to my community was, does QHHT release the fear of death? And I felt, I kind of just automatically, my whole essence connected with him, and I was pulled into his essence, and I felt terror. And it reminded me of a dream that I had a long time ago when I was asking to understand. I had a request that I put out to my higher guidance. I wanted to understand why humans are so afraid of everything, because I know it's not death that you're actually afraid of. It's not even the suffering that comes along with it. So I had this dream that, someone like an aggressor allegedly invaded our country, and they came in, and don't worry, this isn't going to happen. It was just a dream that was used as a means to teach me something. So anyway, they came in and they had on gas masks and they sprayed something into the air, and whatever it was strong, and I couldn't even, it killed me so fast that I couldn't even see pain. This was back when I was still struggling with, does death exist? And I was in my 20s or so when I had this dream. And in this dream, my entire body, like my skin and my bones, everything was like eaten away really, really fast. Sorry that this is gory. And then I felt this thud, and then my skull dropped to the floor and I was nothing. Very profound dream. And I remember the sound of the thud. It was so strong. And then there was nothingness. And in the moment when I still believed I was body, my spirit was going, oh my God, I'm dead. And then suddenly this peace came over me, this peace that I cannot really describe to you because it is beyond the human. It's beyond body, it's beyond ego, it's beyond anything that I can put human words to. And it was so full, it was just blackness. And I was the light within this blackness. And then even that light went away. And then I was that blackness. I was that void. There was nothing to observe. There was nothing to look at. God wasn't God seeing itself in a body anymore. And it felt fabulous. Human words can't even do it justice to how wonderful it was. And then I was yanked back in the body. And then I woke up and I remember that my back hurt and I had to get my babies to preschool. You know, this is like early 20s. And I was just one baby at that time, actually. It's like, yeah. So I had to get baby Cole to preschool, and I had to get to work, and I had to do this, and I had to do that, and then I was like, oh, no, I want that other thing back. So this right now is us going into the void and losing this attachment to our consciousness and witnessing ourselves. And the only way to lose attachment to being a witness to consciousness is to lose expectations of certain results, to lose all the attachments and expectations to everything. Yeah, someone said it's like, Jenna said, it's like experiencing being in a float tank. Is like that, except even more beautiful. I haven't been in a float tank, but I've astral projected and watched someone experience the float tank, kind of sat in there with them and observed it. But it's different from being that. So that's what this is about. We're going to continue to talk about this between now and June the 29th. And on June the 29th, I am offering a class called the 911 Spiritual Awakening Survival Guide. And I made it cheaper than my other classes, and I'm handing it to you along with the purchase of this class, my free, it's not normally free, but it is now, my higher self, talking to the higher self class, how to get in touch with your essence. And because I believe that it's so vital for these reasons that we've talked about today. So that comes along with this class. And for the past 3 years, I've been working on this class, the Spiritual Awakening Guide. So it is full. It has hundreds and hundreds of tips and suggestions and explanations on what is going on and why, and how to really, really, really connect to yourself, to God within you, while simultaneously observing what is going on in your alleged external environment, understanding what it's about, why it's there, and going into a deep acceptance so that you can stay sane, maintain your spiritual sanity, your emotional sanity during these times. So this is going to be a very comforting, healing, non-catalyzing, solace-based class, very functional, very healing. So again, it's June 29th at 1 p.m. Yes, it's live. If you can't make it live, you will receive your link so that you can watch it as a replay afterwards. So don't worry about that. And along with it, you get the free 1.5 hour how to connect to your soul essence and how to talk to your higher self class. So that's why I'm giving away so many of my classes for free these days, because you need it right now, especially this class. The soul essence, talking to the higher self class, was the best class that I've ever taught in 18 and a half years. That's how powerful it was. So for me to give that is just, I want to give it because that's how powerful it is. And you will need it with these awakenings. You will need it. So today, 1 p.m., we're going to be talking deeper about some of this and how it relates to forgiveness. I'm writing a book called A Course in Forgiveness. I'm about 3 chapters in. I've been literally throwing it at you, giving it for free away in my spiritual communities. It's sacred text. I'm not looking to make money from it. It is being channeled through me, and I am giving it to you. It is another gift. You can get your free copies of it here soon. You can get free readings of it on my Facebook community. just look me up. You can find me there. It's a big community, thousands of people. So it's a little uncomfortable to be in. If you don't like Facebook, just go on there privately and try to just, you can make a private Facebook account, and that's how you can get that. You can also sign up to my newsletter to talk about it, because as it comes out, I will be distributing free copies of it there in e-format. Or just by donation. So right now, we're just giving the material away as much as possible. If you want printed material, you have to pay for that, but not much. We've already got $2,000 worth of donations ready to give printed material of this. So thank you for all your donations. That will help us provide pre-printed copies of A Course in Forgiveness to people who desperately need it. So I'm ready to do that too. It's amazing. This is an amazing awakening. We are so grateful to be here. And I know it doesn't feel that way right now when you're going through what you're going through, but we are so grateful to be here. It's so, if you're here, it's not because you were placed here. It's not because you didn't choose to be here. It's not because you're being punished. It is not because you are a grand experiment that's being messed with. It's not because any of these things that you're being taught in the New Age communities. I apologize. I don't mean to offend anyone who does believe that greatly in their hearts, but please mind your beliefs. And more than being mindful of them, because that implies ego, be heartful of your beliefs. Feel your beliefs and just observe what you're choosing to believe in these times right now. Be loving and comforting to yourselves right now, and ask yourself this question before I see you today at 1 p.m. Everything that you're thinking and feeling, is it what someone who loves themselves would think and feel? If you're doing something, is it what someone who loves themselves would do? And when you don't know what to do and how to love yourselves, ask yourself that question. What would someone who loves themselves do? And do it even if it feels fake. Yes, you can fake it till you make it in terms of loving yourselves. Okay? I love you guys. My phone is dying. I need to go charge it because it needs to be on full charge before 1 p.m. My charger's not even here in the office, so I got to run home and go get it. So disorganized today. I will see you at 1 p.m. for our free YouTube and Facebook streaming, which is going to be, the guest today is going to be the wonderful master ACIM teacher, Carol Howell. We're going to be talking about some portions of how she views forgiveness, some portions of how I view forgiveness, and how forgiveness applies to this great awakening and what's going on in the human conscious collective and what that means. What does that really mean to forgive? So many people ask me that. So I thought I would sit with a master teacher who's been writing about forgiveness and talking and teaching about these ACIM principles, these non-duality based principles for 43 years. She's been teaching this for longer than I've been alive. She is amazing. You just had to be there. So I will see you at 1 p.m. And for those of you who are interested in my class, the 911 Spiritual Awakening Survival Guide with the free How to Talk to Your Higher Self class that comes with it, you can get that on my website. Just Google me. Okay. All right, bye, Facebook. Let's turn you off first. And I don't know how to turn off YouTube. I'll figure it out. I love you guys.